All right, you keep hearing about it, I know. You just want to see a little bit, just a little glimpse, a little taste of the world famous, in quotes, draft kit. What the hell makes this thing so world famous, in quotes? Well, that's what I'm here to show you today. We're going to walk through the draft kit. I'm excited. There's a lot to it. It only has the things that you need to dominate a fantasy draft. And the reason I'm doing this is because I just joined a high-stakes draft at the FFWC last night. I absolutely slayed the draft. I loved it. And we'll throw the draft up on the screen here. Here's the draft board. And as you can see, pretty happy. Pretty happy. Hero RB, starting with Stephon Diggs, right into Joe Mixon, one of the best quarterbacks in Hurts, one of the best tight ends in Waller, and yet plenty of depth at both positions. And look at the back of that draft. Lots of upside on the back half. And just know that this entire draft was just me going down the cheat sheet from the world-famous draft kit. That was a $350 buy-in to Player Profiler Championships at the FFWC. So, our goal was to create an online tool that offered you everything you had with the old fantasy football magazines. You can still go to Barnes & Noble. You can still get a fantasy football magazine. If you really want to smell that crisp newspaper print of the fantasy football magazine, they still print them. I still buy them. But I wanted to create that experience, but online with much more powerful tools that only an online computer system can provide. So the three-legged stool of the world-famous draft kit, the key elements are the team insights, the player analysis, and the cheat sheets. So let's jump right in to the team insights, because the first thing that we do better than anyone else is understanding what makes these teams tick. What direction are these teams moving in? Are they becoming more pass first? Are they becoming more run first? Are they starting to play faster? Are they playing slower? Looking at the schedule. What will the team's offensive philosophy be, and how will that impact all the players on offense? And that's what drives fantasy points. More and more and more, fantasy gamers are realizing and fully understanding the impact of situation on fantasy scoring, and that's why the team insights are such a huge component of the draft kit. So let's jump right in and look at those team insights. Here are all the teams here. And we can scroll down and we can just check out some of these teams. Go right to the first one. Look at the Buffalo Bills. We've got all the team level projections. So we've got the total plays, pass attempts, rush attempts. This is a pass first offense, not a run first offense. There you can see the projected starting lineup. And you can read all about how they played last year, who was productive last year. And then we go into the signature trend. In this case, it's the Josh Allen-centric offense. The graphics are publication level quality. And you look on the right, the upcoming schedule. Now we have red, meaning this is a below average fantasy points allowed defense. We have yellow, meaning they give up the average amount of fantasy points to opposing skill position players. Then you have green. That's a fantasy friendly defense. You have the overall strength of schedule on the run level and the pass level. As you can see, the Buffalo Bills, because they were one of the best teams in the league last year, they have a first place schedule. And it's difficult. Will it matter to Josh Allen? No. And that's part of what this team insight reveals. A lot more vacated targets than vacated carries as well, and a significant number of vacated air yards. Notice the players added and lost. More players lost than added. Beasley, Sanders. That's where you're getting a lot of your vacated air yards and vacated targets. And the write-up on what it means to have a Josh Allen-centric offense and the impact on the other skill position players is all laid out here. You're not going to find a more comprehensive view of the Buffalo Bills anywhere in all of fantasy football. And it just keeps going. Let's stay in the division. Look at the Patriots. Compare the bar graphs for the Bills and the Patriots. They are the polar opposite. Bill Belichick bully ball. And a key stat, 29.8 pass plays per game, was number 28 in the league. That's what you're getting from the Bill Belichick offense, especially an offense that no longer has Josh McDaniel to hold Bill Belichick in his run-first tendencies in check. Well, let's stay in the AFC East. Is this offense going to improve significantly? No. You'd love Mike McShanahan to unlock this offense. But the 49ers last year had a 49% pass rate, and that was with Jimmy Garoppolo. And what is Tua Tagovailoa except just Jimmy Garoppolo South? And that's what you'll learn digging into the team insight on the Dolphins. Keep your expectations in check. How about the Super Bowl champion or the Rams? Look at all that blue in the team projections. This is what a prolific offense looks like. And this is what Cooper Kupp's face superimposed over Matthew Stafford looks like. That is creepy and cool. Shout out to Mark Mathick, our graphic designer for the world famous draft kit. Just exceptional. This is my favorite though. This one. The Jacksonville Jaguars. This has to be my favorite graphic. Notice the pass attempts, 613. This is why you're drafting Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Marvin Jones late. And don't forget about Travis Etienne. Oh, baby. Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterback prospects we've seen in years. And Travis Etienne, one of the best running back prospects we've seen in years. So you can expect a second-year leap. At the very least, we're going to see volume. And that's exciting. So that's a brief tour of our team insights. My absolute favorite aspect of the world-famous draft kit, and it's not even close, I pour over each one of them in detail before this thing goes live, so I have a little bit of an advantage on the public. Just for a couple days, I have a bit of an advantage. I'm like, I've read all the team insights already. I'm going to go jump in some drafts and see if I can dominate just for a couple days before it goes live. Now, what's this extreme cheat sheet? The extreme cheat sheet. What does that mean, the extreme cheat sheet? Well, the innovation here is that, yes, it is a cheat sheet, but it also has dynamic player analysis embedded in it. Not only do you see the rankings, the auction values, and the ability to toggle between half PPR, standard, and then Superflex, you can also go up here and toggle over to best ball mode. Now, in best ball mode, what's going to happen is the quarterbacks will get a boost compared to single quarterback leagues. Not the Superflex boost necessarily, but you do want to draft 2 or 3 quarterbacks in best ball. So especially quarterbacks, say 13 through 25, gets boosted significantly in the best ball ranking. Same thing with tight end 13 through 25. So that's an example of the difference between the best ball cheat sheet for Underdog Fantasy and a traditional PPR cheat sheet. And this is the Superflex best ball cheat sheet with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray. Yes, you want to start your draft with the quarterback position in Superflex, most definitely. Now, this isn't just a cheat sheet, though. As players are going off the board, you can mark them as drafted. And I used this last night. It was incredibly helpful because sometimes a player is down the board. They're not high up on the default rankings, but they're high up on the cheat sheet. And that's what allowed me to draft Mike Williams when I did last night. I did not see him on the default rankings. I just had to scroll down. There he was. But because I had selected everyone around Mike Williams, I was like, well, he hasn't gone off the board yet. Let me scroll down. Sure enough, there he is. So you can track players as they're drafted. It helps you stay organized. Now, here's the best part. You're looking at the cheat sheet. You click on the player, and it opens up, and you can see his granular stats. You can see his ADP, his projected usable weeks, his weighted strength of schedule, which puts a big premium on weeks 15, 16, and 17. So Jonathan Taylor's schedule during that period is great. Joe Mixon, not so much. Joe Mixon faces the Buccaneers and the Patriots and the Bills during that time. He has the worst schedule for the fantasy playoffs, so his weighted schedule strength is tilted into the negative. Jonathan Taylor is one of the reasons why he's the 101. One of many reasons. And here's the full write-up on what we can expect from Jonathan Taylor this year. And then we have a video. More than 100 well-known fantasy analysts contributed both written analysis and video analysis to the world-famous draft kit. We're blessed to have so many contributors. It's a big deal. We couldn't do this without them. So there's Jonathan Taylor. Let's look for tight ends. Darren Waller. Here's what we believe Darren Waller is capable of this year. And now you might recognize this guy who analyzed Kyle Pitts. Oh, there's Ray Garvin.
And let's not forget,
spoiler alert,
that Marcus Mariota,
he's bullish
for 3
on
straight
Kyle
years,
Pitts.
made 30-plus-year-old Delaney
Look at this, the Marcus Mariota passer rating by position.
The only Pro Bowls
Look
that
at
Delaney
that.
Walker ever had in his
Where
career
else do you find
came
that?
behind the
What other
right
draft
arm
kits
of
have that
Marcus
information?
Mariota.
Well, when we
133
embed
times.
all these stats and analysis in the videos and in the write-up on the player, that's how we can give you literally everything you need to know about these players heading into your fantasy draft. What about the quarterback position? Oh, Justin Herbert, recognize this guy? Oh, it's Lord Reeves himself. The originator of the Konami code. He's bullish on Justin Herbert, but we're not bullish on all these players. But certainly Justin Herbert, certainly Kyle Pitts. One more. Let's go wide receiver. Let's look at a player I like, T. Higgins. Oh, Ian Hartitz. My man, Ian Hartitz. Loves him some T. Higgins. Oh, yeah.
14th. Guess who has those exact same numbers?
Look at all those key metrics where T. Higgins was inside the top 12. Thank you to Ian Hartitz. So there's the wide receiver position. We also have defenses and kickers for seasonal leagues. We didn't stop at 200. We didn't go to 250. We went all the way to 300 players. We go down, down. It just keeps going. Oh, there's the Denver Broncos defense. They face, the Seattle Seahawks in week 1. The Indianapolis Colts face the Houston Texans in week 1. Food for thought. Even Benny the Snail makes an appearance all the way down to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, the caboose on the cheat sheet. Now, what if you do your draft in person? Well, hit the print button, and we let you print it out. And we include the projected fantasy points right on there. If you want to run your own projections because you have your own custom scoring system, hit the download button here, and it exports carries, targets, receptions, rushing yards, touchdowns, exports that to Excel, and you can then calculate custom projections for specific league scoring formats. We set out to create the most dynamic, comprehensive cheat sheet in existence, and no one has come close to what we've accomplished, as well as our team insights. So our thinking is, if you have the best player analysis and you have the best team analysis, you probably have the best draft kit. And I fundamentally believe that's what we have created. I'm so proud of everyone that contributed, the more than 100 fantasy analysts around the industry that contributed, especially Neil Dutton, Zach Kruger, Ike Azar, Matt Dunleavy, who worked so hard on those team insights, Kevin Zhao, Cody Wilhelm, editing all those videos, the aforementioned Mark Mathick, our graphics guru, and of course, the editor-in-chief of the draft kit itself, Mike Randall. None of this would be possible without all of those contributors, as well as the Rich Rebars and the Matt Harmons and the Ray Garvins. It's been quite an effort to put this thing together for you. Happy Fantasy League dominating.